over there, we used our network to talk to people and say, while we're there, who's it important that we talk to? And actually, a number of people pointed to Paul and said, you need to talk to Paul Potres while you're there, because he's the guy that many American car dealers turn to when they want advice on how do we sell our cars in the next 5, 10 years, how do we use the digital media in an intelligent way, and so on. And Paul gave a very inspiring session. And when we returned, we asked him if he could speak at our annual conference this afternoon. And Paul agreed, but on one condition. He said, I'll come, but you need to arrange a seminar for sales and marketing responsibles at the same day. I'd like to come and talk in the afternoon about general trends and tendencies in the American market. That's what we're going to hear this afternoon. But this morning's seminar is a practical seminar. It's a hands-on seminar. It concerns the tools and the different ways that Paul's company helps American dealers to increase their sales. And of course, I know that there are many differences between the American car market and the Danish car market. For instance, the legislation in the US on how to use personal data is much more liberal than it is in Denmark. And I also know that many American dealers are not as restricted in their relationship with their importers or their manufacturers as we are in Denmark. But nevertheless, I find it very inspiring to hear what takes place in the US. And if there's something that the American dealers are able to do, maybe we should work in order to get those conditions as well in Denmark. So, without further ado, Paul, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
So are you guys going to be a lively group? Are you going to be kind of laid back? Which way are we going to go? We're going to go lively? Who says lively? All right, so let's give Thomas and Frederick what we like to call a slow clap. Everybody know what a slow clap is? So join me in a slow clap for these guys. So you guys are going to be lively. That's excellent. Thomas hit it. I'm going to talk about some practical things. I'm going to talk about things that we're doing in the United States, but we're also doing in Canada. I've spoke all over the world. I've worked with dealers all over the world. Copenhagen's a new one, so I'm excited. Did a lot of research, looked at a lot of different things, and boy, I tell you what, you guys got a lot of things going right. I was just in Puerto Rico not that long ago, and it felt like, I mean, great group of people, great, just a great place to be, but I felt like I walked back in 1985. And I mean, and I don't mean that as a negative, but just simple little things that we take for granted in the States, like direct mail, they couldn't do it. And the reason they couldn't do it is because the homes don't have addresses on them. It is true. I mean, so that's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. But kind of thinking about marketing and how marketing's changed, let's kind of think about how was marketing 10 years ago? And I mean, in the States, we say, thank goodness for Al Gore, because he invented the internet, or so he says. So how internet's really changed, because I started in the industry years ago. My dad was in fixed ops, and you know, he wanted to make sure that I got the entire experience. So I got to work in the body shop, and I'd be on top of the buses and sanding buses. I think that was punishment to me. And then I was in parts, and then so I moved all around. Then I was the lot boy, and I was always, you know, winter would roll around, I'd have to move the trucks on the front line, and we'd have to move the sports cars back on the front line. So it was nonstop. But one thing that's always made just absolutely fascinating to me is marketing. And the reason marketing is so fascinating is because after a while, you start to see what happens, why people make decisions that they make. Understanding the psychology of an individual, that is so important, that is so key. So many times when we want to market, when we start marketing, we think about our own wants, our own needs, our own desires. And we don't think about the wants and the needs and desires of the individuals that we are wanting to sell to. So as I go through everything today, if there's one thing that you'll have a takeaway, at least I hope you'll have this takeaway, is I'm going to get you to think a little differently. I'm going to get you to think about who are you marketing to and what's important to them. It's not about, oh, I've got these cars on the lot, I want to sell them, and just because nobody wants them, I got to market them. I want to spend money on them. That ain't the way you build a marketing strategy. That's not the way you do sales. I mean, you kind of think about it. Somebody comes on the lot, Do you take them over to the car that if they walked on and they said, hey, I'd like to see the Peugeot whatever, do you run them over and do you show them the Fiat instead? No, but that's the way we market. And the beautiful part about marketing today is you know exactly what people are interested in. Everything that's done online is being tracked. In fact, everything that you do offline is being tracked. Let's get really creepy. How many people in here have a smartphone in their pocket? So look around. Keep your hands up and look around. That little device that you have in your pocket has what's called an IAD, an identifier for advertising. It's made up of 40 digits and characters, and what it does is it tracks everything that you do on that device. Every app you download, every text message you download, every time you make or receive a phone call, every time you shop for something. In fact, the emails that you're sending and receiving and the text messages you're sending and receiving, that's all being tracked. But think about that, the identifier for advertising, what else it does. It's also tied to what? It's tied to your account where you pay your bill, which is tied to your credit history, which is tied to your behaviors of how you use your credit cards, where you use your credit cards, and what you're purchasing. Do you purchase more generic items, or do you purchase the brand name items? All of that is being tracked. It's called big data. And that's the beautiful part about digital marketing today. Because it seems like it was yesterday that I made the bet, I made the challenge to my dad, and I said, I'd really like to be able to do marketing. So we made a bet, I ended up winning the bet, and I got to be able to handle some of the marketing. And I remember showing up on a Saturday morning and seeing people lined up, because for insurance reasons, we had to keep the lot locked up. But there was cars lined up waiting to come into the lot on that Saturday morning. I mean, do we have that happen today? We don't have that happen today. But just seeing that was so exciting that I was hooked. And you know, he wanted me to go into the car business, he wanted me to go through fixed assets, but I was so excited about the marketing of it all. And I'm going to share some of those tactics, some of those things that you can do today. And some of the things you will be doing, and some possibly you won't be doing. But all of the things I want to share with you this morning are very simple tactics, things that you can do at your dealership that are very cost effective. And what I mean by cost effective is return on investment. Because if you spend money, you want to be able to generate leads. And there's different types of leads. I mean, we talk about leads, being able to drive to the lot. Yeah, that's a lead. Being able to drive somebody to pick up the phone and call you. Yes, that's a lead. Being able to drive somebody to your website to fill in a web form. Lead. Being able to drive somebody to your website so they chat with you. That's a lead. And those are all things that you need to be measuring. Plus, what is the performance of the website? It's amazing, though, seeing the dealers that we work with across the United States. We have a lot of dealers in Canada. And what the dealers are always measuring amazes me. Because they're not measuring all of the important things. They're just measuring how much traffic am I getting to the lot. And I'm like, well, when you're measuring the traffic to your lot, what about to your virtual showroom? Because you think about it, how many people in here raise their hand with a smartphone? The majority of us. Isn't it a lot easier for us to do our shopping on that smartphone device than actually going somewhere? So if we're thinking about how do we make our life easier, shouldn't the car shoppers be doing the same thing? And are we looking at the analytics of our website? Are we looking at the bounce rate? Are we looking at the time spent on the website? Those are all important factors. Are we looking at how many pages they view? Are we looking at where they bounce off of the website? Those are the things that I want you to start focusing on if you're not focusing on it now. Because it's so critically important, especially here. If you're in Denmark, I mean, you guys are plugged in more than they are in the United States. And what I mean by that is the population of Denmark is using mobile devices more so. In fact, by 2017, you should be leading the world. And that's with all the stats. And I mean, I think I'm telling you guys stuff you already know. So what are we doing with mobile marketing? What are we doing with our website? If your community, if those car shoppers are so plugged in, what are we doing? Well, let me show you some of these things. So Thomas did an introduction, so let me tell you really quick who we are. Name of our agency is Potracs. We're the second largest in North America when it comes to dealer spend. And that's a pretty big feat to talk about. But the dealers trust us so much. We've had a lot of dealers that would start with us and they would do digital marketing, and they would start out with maybe, $1,500, $2,000 a month in what they were spending in digital marketing. Our average client now spends about $21,000 a month in digital marketing. Our highest client is upwards of $100,000 a month, strictly in digital marketing. But we still do traditional. We do radio, we do TV, we do newspaper, we do billboard, we do direct mail. We do it all. But more and more of our clients are seeing the value in digital, and I'm going to explain a little more in digital. Our facility is 27,000 square feet. I tried to put that in meters, and it just seemed really small because it said it was like 2.9 meters. And I said, I'm just typical. I don't want anything that's 2.9. I'd rather go with the 27,000. So I don't know. But we have a drive-in video studio where we do video production in-house. We have front-end developers. We have back-end developers. We have software engineers. We have coders. We have copywriters. We're a full-service agency. And we're able to handle everything that a dealer needs. That's all we work in. It's the automotive industry. When I say automotive, I mean we do vehicles, we do RVs, we'll do power sports, or we do power sports, but it's all about automotive. And that's because that's what drives me. That's what I'm excited about. And that's what my team is excited about. So here's a question for you guys. Who is your competition? Who's your competition?
No.
Who's your competition?
Independent market.
Okay. Who's your competition?
The guy that wants to step up and do it better than I want.
Okay. Who's your competition?
My neighbor. Everyone who's in the market.
Okay. Does anybody think that maybe the competition is someone different? Put your hand up. Who's the competition?
I think that some of the big ones in the industry, like Google or Apple, or
Okay. Who's got a different answer than what you've heard so far today? Okay. Anybody else? Nobody else? So let me tell you who your competition is. You are. Yeah. That's who your competition is. I mean, think about it. So everybody, grab your smartphone that's in your pocket and hold it up. You see that device that's in everybody's hand right now? That's your competition. It's not the suppliers. It's not the other dealers. It's not the independents. That's not your competition. We shouldn't focus on them. So here's a question. When's the last time you went out to dinner and you looked over at a couple sitting there, a lovely couple, and they both got their nose stuck in that phone? Do we see that all the time? Did you look at them and you go, boy, it looks like their relationship's on the rocks. Unless they're sexting each other. And so that's your competition. Because time is our most valuable resource. It's all about time. So thinking about your competition is you have to be able to cut through the clutter. You've got to be able to stand out. You've got to be able to be different. You've got to be able to talk to individuals the way they want to be talked to, when they want to be talked to, how they want to be talked to. Understanding that's your competition. Because if you think about it, your competition, the independents, the franchise, I mean, all of that, I mean, that's not the competition. It's being able to talk to the person. I mean, think about it. Who is purchasing the vehicles from you? You're trying to reach them. And we have things like Facebook. And the Facebook penetration in this market is 62% in Denmark. That's higher than the United States. United States is 51%. Canada is 52%. You're 62% penetration. That's unheard of. But that's fabulous. Because now you know that if they're on Facebook, you can target them on Facebook. That's what you have to be thinking about. How can I talk to these individuals more so than anybody else? And how can I talk to them about what's important to them? And you have that ability to do that today. I mean, it seems like it was yesterday that we were calling the radio stations and we were doing Nielsen and Arbitron ratings and all this craziness, trying to say, oh, we want to buy adults 25, 54 with this income level. That was the closest we could get to targeting an individual. Now you can say, you know what, I want to be able to reach an individual that is a single mother that has a child of this age, prefers to drive this type of car, prefers to lease this vehicle, and drives an average of 7 minutes to work. That's how specific you can get today. And if you really want to throw something crazy in there, and you say, I also want to target that mom that prefers Jif peanut butter over Skippy. It's true. You can really do that today. So let's talk about a storyline. And I want to see if we're talking about the same story that I see in every market that I've been to across the United States, Canada, Greece, Paris, France. So how often do we have shoppers, just by a show of hands? How often in the last week, how many of you in the last week have seen somebody in your showroom with that mobile phone like this in the last week? Put your hand up. So most of us. Okay. So we see that everywhere. How many times, or of you, I mean, a lot of you guys, how many are dealers in here that don't really work with clients though? Okay. So how many work with the clients, the customers? All right, good. So hey, this question is for you. In the last week, put your hand up if you've had a prospective client or a customer, whatever you want to call them, that said, is that your best price? So we think about that. They're asking you, is that your best price? Wait. Put your hand up if your advertising message, if the ads that you're running are focused on price. Okay, so we're advertising price, and they're coming in and asking us about price. Is it because that's what we're educating them? Is that what we're telling them to do to us? Is ask us about price? And I talk about if you sell by price, you die by price. The prices are on your website. Your prices are on the vehicle when they come to the lot. So the goal of your advertising is either to get them to the lot or get them to your website, but we talk about price. So in the last week, those of you that are working with clients and customers, how many of them have you heard, is it available? You hear that? Is it available? Is that vehicle available? So you're hearing that. So we have the same word tracks regardless of wherever we're located. And then have you heard, should I lease or should I buy? Are they asking you that? So we've got all of the same word tracks, all of the same questions going on. And then how about, this is a big one I hear all the time. Maybe you guys are different. Did they ask you, how long is this going to take? Is this going to take me all day to do this deal? You guys hear that? Yeah. So understanding that how long will it take, that's important, that they feel like it's going to be an all-day process. Could that be a unique selling proposition for your dealership? Talking about that the process is a lot easier? Maybe helping them do a lot of the process online, or making them feel like that they perceive that a lot of the process is being done online. So again, think about those questions and all of the questions that they're asking you. So here's a really quick question for you guys. When was the last time that you went home and turned on the TV to watch the commercials? What are you guys laughing about? You don't do that? Okay. When's the last time you turned on the radio and said, I'm ready to listen to the commercials? We don't do that either, right? When was the last time you pulled out your smartphone or sat down in front of your computer and said, I'm looking to buy something, I'm researching it, I'm looking for it? We do that all the time. So if we kind of think about that, with radio and TV, that medium is really kind of a spam, isn't it? When we're running commercials, we're spamming people. It's an interruption advertising is what it is. We're trying to interrupt them. They're in there, you know, going, yeah, I love this song, and then boom, the commercial rolls in, and then it's really quick. Whoa, let me go to the next station. That's what they're doing. So we're doing things like, oh, let's be the first in the stop set. Let's be the first commercial so we can hit them before they can hit that button to go somewhere else. And so in this room, how many of you have some type of a device on your TV that as soon as the commercial comes on, you go, shoot, fast forward? So a lot of us. So we're trying to cut through, we're spending money to be able to talk to those individuals, but that individual, all of us, basically, that we pull out our mobile phone and it's undisturbed, that we're looking for it. We want to spend money. We've got to spend that money. That money is burning a hole in our pocket, or our credit is so good, we just got to spend the money. So hopefully I'm giving you a different perspective of where should you start your advertising strategy. Should it be with an offline media or an online media? Regardless of whatever articles you read. I mean, we're reading all the articles, and they're saying anywhere from 85%, 88%, 90%, and above, the shopping process starts online. I mean, would we agree with that? Do we do that as an individual? So we're really talking about a movie. And this is a movie that I've been through because I can remember rolling back the clock to about 1998. And there was this company called BZ Productions, and BZ rolled out this new website platform in the US, and boy, that website was hideous. It was the worst website ever. But we thought it was really cool in 1998 because it had they used Flash, and it had this little tachometer gauge. As soon as you went to the page, it showed the tack, and you click on it, and it go, wah, wah. And we thought that was really cool, that we could hear the motor revving and all this stuff. We thought, oh, that's really cool, that's really cool. Now, we were focused on how can we, you know, we weren't focused on conversion. We were focused on making a really cool website with a lot of noise. And then we were doing things, we were saying stuff like, if you get a lead, what's that? You get leads on these things? Oh, yeah, I think we're supposed to get leads off this website. Okay, great. Well, when you get a lead in, don't answer their question. Just get them in. Well, they're asking me specific questions. Should I answer them? No, don't answer them. Don't tell them. They want to know how much I'm going to give them on their trade. No, don't tell them. Don't put much information on your website because they're just going to take that information and shop other dealers. Those were the type. Nobody's saying that today in here, though, right? I didn't think so. So it was all about not being transparent. It was all about smoke and mirrors. To the point, I mean, until we kind of continued on and on and on. We didn't really measure analytics because we didn't know what analytics were. And then finally we got analytics, and it was like we had so many analytics that we had analytic overload that just paralyzed us. To the point now we use one set of analytics, and we've got specific processes that we follow, that we talk about the conversion of the website. Oh, you want more leads on that website? Then let's readjust this page a little bit. Let's put some more call to actions on there. And I'm going to show you some of the things even this evening. That's easy. I've already been through the movie. I've already seen it. And when I went to Puerto Rico, they were in about the first 2 minutes of this movie. And it's a long movie. It's a 15-year-long movie that I was talking about pay-per-click, retargeting. And they were going, and it wasn't because I didn't speak their language, because we were translating as I was going, but they didn't understand what we were talking about. You guys understand that, and there's great opportunity. So if there's one thing I want you to really study, in fact, I want you guys to read this, and you're going to lead it. Are you ready? Count of three. I want you to lead this, and everybody follow him. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. So any idea what I mean by that? What do I mean by that?
That you could get lazy from being happy with what you did today.
Give him a hand. Yes, exactly. Yes. Because now the auto industry is doing better and better and better, and we're getting a little lazy. We're thinking, oh, wow, this is going to be easy. No. Business does this. And you've got to be preparing for when it's going to slow down, because it will slow down. It's just business. And I don't mean to be negative and bring you down. It's just the way it is. And what we've seen over the years now, when we go in and we start working on a website and start doing digital marketing for them and building those campaigns out, because we can see what other dealers in the market are doing specifically. And I'm going to show you some things, specifically what they're doing on our dealer's website. And the first thing that they always do, and the last thing they always do, is they go to the specific vehicles and they start hovering around the price, and they're going, I don't get it. Why are they selling more cars than we are? Their prices are the same as ours, or their prices are more than ours. Not understanding that if you focus on the psychology of the person purchasing, focus on their needs, their wants, their desires, their fears, and you answer those questions in complete transparency, you will get more leads than you can handle. Because what's happening right now with a lot of dealers, in fact, we got fired last month. Christy will tell you about it. Because the dealer said, I'm getting so many leads, I can't handle the leads. And I'm like, really? I would hire some more people. I can't hire another people. We're hearing dealers talk about service, and I'm getting so much service, I can't handle it. And I'm like, did you think about a second shift? I mean, make the money while it's there. But it's always, I don't know, I think I've got to go play golf. So think about that. So think about, why do we purchase? As an individual, why do we purchase? Why do we purchase things? Who's bought something in the last 24 hours in this room? What did you buy?
I bought a belt
Why'd you buy the belt?
because I really, really wanted it.
Do you have to be so honest? You really wanted it.
Yeah.
So buying that belt, you wanted it, but was it an expensive belt?
It was quite an expensive belt.
Yeah, you and me need to talk.
I bought an Hermes belt online.
Oh,
Yesterday
excellent.
night.
Okay.
So yeah, it was expensive.
So he just dropped about $1,200 on a belt. So going through that process to buy that belt, though, did you come up with any justification of why you should buy it?
Oh, maybe, but it was no process there.
There was no process to it?
It was.
You did research, didn't you?
No, because I wanted it.
Okay.
I went to the shops,
Uh-huh.
actually.
And you seen it?
Never had it. Never had the one, but it was there online.
Everybody know what kind of belt he's talking about? I pronounce it Hermes. Maybe it's wrong. It's got the big H on it. Did you get the gold or the stainless steel?
I actually got a blue one.
What about the buckle, though?
The buckle is the blue with the silver one, and it's a beige belt with black.
So you got we'll talk about that later. You got it's beige on one and blue on the other side?
No, beige and black. But the buckle is blue.
Awesome. Okay. So anyway, you just ruined everything else we talked about. Got me all excited now. Sweat. So if you think about it, when we go to purchase, a lot of times we'll do research. What drives us to do it? We see somebody else that wears it, somebody else that has it, and we go, wow, that looks good. That looked good on me. But we go through a justification process, and we'll think about it. Should I get it? Should I spend that much? Am I wasting money? Well, no, it's a good investment because it won't really depreciate. It should increase in value. I mean, we go through all of these things. Or it's gonna, think about it in this way. Let's say last month you sold 200 vehicles. Out of those 200 vehicles that you sold, how many of those individuals needed the vehicle and how many wanted the vehicle? I mean, again, think about how many people came and bought the car that had to have it, that they were just had no car, had to have the car. I mean, if you think about it, and how many even came in and traded in a car that was a perfectly good car that had many, many miles, a lot more use left to it, but they just traded it in. And maybe their justification process was, it's not so good on fuel. And then you're like, okay, so it's not so good on fuel, so you're going to get this vehicle, it's a little more fuel efficient. Yeah, it's going to save me money. Okay, great. How much do you owe on this vehicle? I don't owe anything. You don't owe anything on this vehicle. You're getting ready to buy this other vehicle. It's going to cost you around $150, $300 a month, whatever it might be. How much are you spending on fuel per month? Oh, around $75. That doesn't pencil. But it's a justification process. And we do that in everything that we purchase. There's a funnel that you can watch a person go through the entire funnel. Granted, some of it might be shorter than others. Like him, high roller here, just dropped $1,200 on the belt. I had to have it. I look sexy with it now. I bet you look sexy with it, don't you? So there's no doubt. I mean, who would look sexy in that belt? So think about it. So think about it. Why do we purchase? And then think about the next thing. How do we shop? What is the process that we follow when we shop? You went into the store. You've seen it. Did you do anything online for it?
Clicked on a couple of clicks and boom, I had it.
There you go. Who else purchased something lately?
Maybe I think.
He didn't get a fake one. It's real.
Had MS.com? No, I don't think so.
So who else purchased something lately? What did you purchase? Okay. Did you do a lot of research on it? No. You just bought it. You just rolled it. So you bought it based on the name. You bought it based on really the reputation, the sound, the name is what you bought it based on. So think about that. You bought a stereo system based purely on the name because it's known for quality. Think about that as the vehicles that you're selling. Think about that as the reputation of your dealership and the people that are on your team. So following how we shop is really important. Again, following through the funnel. Average individual will research when they're purchasing a car 16 to 22 different websites. Doesn't that sound like a lot of work? They're going to look at an average of 16 to 22 different websites. Any idea why? No ideas? I'll tell you why it is in the States. And Canada, is because the vast majority of the websites suck. The dealer's websites, that is. They're hideous. Because all they are is basically a laundry list of vehicles with the price. But when we go to purchase like a set of headphones for our iPhone or our Droid through an Apple store, do we read the reviews about a set of headphones that's going to cost us $39? We do, don't we? But we don't have reviews on our website talking about a vehicle that someone's getting ready to spend a lot of money on. So that just seems kind of flawed to me. Average individual will spend 16 plus hours doing research. Think about it. When's the last time someone came into your dealership to purchase a car and they had more product knowledge than the people that we employ? Frustrating. Because they come in with the folder walking in the door. And you're like, oh my God, it's one of them. Really? You get that one. On average, they will ask for 4 to 7 different personal recommendations. And this is really the crazy part. Are you ready for this? Personal recommendations also include like Google and Yahoo. People are physically going to Google and typing in things like, what kind of car do I want? I mean, like they're talking to their mom. I mean, seriously, there's searches like that. What type of car do I want? What is the coolest car? You want to hear something crazy? I'm in the industry. Uh-oh, you know what's coming, don't you? This is my wife, and she's got this car that I actually absolutely hate.
Love it.
She loves it. What did you search for? When we're driving down the road and she decides she wants another car, a Porsche Cayenne wasn't good enough for her. And she goes, I want a new car. And what'd you search?
Coolest cars with the best gas mileage.
Coolest cars with the best gas mileage. She couldn't ask me. I've been in the industry for 25 years. She asked Google. And oh my God, you know what pops up? A Mini Cooper. That's not a cool car for me to be in. So that's what she drives around as a Mini Cooper, and she's wanting to know when I'm going to get her the stripes. It's ridiculous. So 4 to 7 personal recommendations. Individuals are searching on Facebook. They're asking complete strangers, because if you're like me, you're a Facebook whore, and you'll connect with anybody on Facebook. And that's what people are doing. And they're asking strangers. Heck, I'm asking strangers every day, hey, how do you like today's outfit? And people are commenting. And people are saying, oh, get rid of the sweater vest. I'm like, unfriend. I asked you to be positive, not tell the truth. So 4 to 7 personal recommendations, and we're looking for social acceptance. So the Mini Cooper does not meet my social acceptance, but it does hers. And that's what's important. I mean, when you sell a car, have you ever seen one of your customers out there taking pictures of it? Posting it to Facebook? Hey, I got a new car. Because what they're doing is they're getting in that car and they're leaving your dealership and they're driving over to friends and family and going, look at my new car, look at my new car. So understand what's happening in the psychology and speed that process up. Hey, can we get some pictures with you in your new car? Are we asking our customers to do that? And then are we doing video? So tell me about the new car. And we're going to talk about video testimonials. And then you post it on your Facebook page for all of, and tagging them for all their friends and family to see, to be able to create social acceptance. Oh, there's Stephen, and he just bought a car at so-and-so. I need a new car. I mean, think about it. Because High Roller over here bought the Airman belt because he's seen somebody else wearing it, right? I'm getting one. You got one on now. All right, so I want you guys to keep count. I want you to count out loud, okay? So I'm going to start doing a search. Here we go. You ready? All right, I'm looking for a Volkswagen Polo. Anybody like that car? You guys like that car? Excellent. Try to do research for that thing, though, I tell you. All right, so Volkswagen Polo. So let me point this out though real quick. So right here, see where I did the search and it's loading in right here where it says Volkswagen Polo for sale, Volkswagen Polo sedan, Volkswagen Polo diesel, Polo specifications. This is based on what people are searching on Google. So anytime you want to see what people are searching for on a small scale, just start typing it in, but don't complete it, and you'll see what will load in. This is important information because now you can start creating video walkarounds based on this. Apparently, people want to know Volkswagen Polo for sale. So here's, are you ready? Number 1. All right, so now here it is. Number 2. You guys aren't counting, so I'll count for you. So if we come down the page, you'll see all the different searches and Top Gear. Hey, Top Gear did a review on it. I'm watching it. And then you kind of move on down, keep on going. Oh, there's a website for the UK. I'm not finding anything for Denmark. Moving on down, full specs, features, specs and features, technical specs, diesel spec, price. So all these different things related to it. So here, let's go back again. All right, here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do the specs. And then, oh, here's the website from the UK. Okay, I don't really see anything jumping out. Oh, I kind of like this. It's got stars that attract my eye because that's kind of cool, doing a squirrel. So then we go into it again. So now I clicked on that. It's really, I'm just looking for information. And I mean, I'm not going to the UK to buy it, but I'm just looking for information. Here's some reviews. It's telling me some stuff. You know what this is right here? It's an opportunity to advertise. You could have your ad right there in a geographically targeted area. This is called contextual marketing. In other words, the content of this page has to do with the Volkswagen Polo. So what you can do, and so there, you could target an ad for your dealership having to do with Volkswagen Polo right here on this page. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Again, it's based on the content of the page, and you can geographically target it. You can say, I only want to go out this far. That's it. So, all right, so I'm reading this page. Now I'm going to click. I'm going to do another search. I go back. All right, I'm going to type in 2015, see what happens. I got some pretty pictures. Oh, you know who this is, right? So Volkswagen, they're running their ads. So, and then stars again and all that. So let me go ahead and search over here. So I go over to this page now. I'm going to click that ad, click ad. So I'm on this page and it says find out more. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and find out more. And then I click over here. So now I'm on this page and I'm looking at it and I'm reading all the information. What's missing on this page?
Buy it. I want to purchase this button.
What else? Okay, what else? You know,
Yeah, something for a person to read.
there's so many opportunities. I mean, granted, this is Volkswagen, this is the manufacturer, but this page is poorly designed. Because you kind of think about it, I mean, what they really want to do, I mean, they're trying to tell you find a dealer and all that stuff, but why don't we have find a dealer down here? Why don't we start generating some leads off of this page? This is the same problem I see in Canada. It's the same problem I see in the States. Well, except the States is even worse because they're doing quotes from dead presidents. That's their ads. How that's going to convert a car sale, I don't know. But anyway, so there's no call to actions on this page. All right, so now I go back here. Anybody know this website? Again, this is an opportunity. You see that there's an opportunity to advertise right there. You can have your ad on this page. Again, this can be contextual advertising. It can also be what we call retargeting. So here's this page. Here's the car. Not a whole lot of opportunity to convert. It's kind of like we're just doing a whole lot of talking right here. I mean, if you kind of think about it. And then let's go back. All right, so now I go over to YouTube. Did you know YouTube is a shopping tool for most? Is there anybody in this room that's gone to YouTube when they're interested in purchasing something to watch videos on the product? Whoa, really? That many people? So there's my question to you. Are you utilizing YouTube as part of your marketing process? Who's using YouTube as part of your marketing process? Put your hand up. 3 people, 4, 5 people. We're going to talk about that. So think about it. Look at the views. 179,000 views, 133,000, 58,000, 136. And I mean, it just keeps on going, going, going. And there's a whole lot of India in here. If you start doing videos and you optimize the video with the proper title tag and the proper description, you can get those pages or those videos to often show up on page 1 of the search engine, like page 1 of Google. And in Denmark, it's pretty easy because there's not much competition out there doing it. If you do these videos and get these videos on your website, write this down, guys, and you have what's called a video sitemap on your website, those videos will index on your website and will drive traffic to your website when people have watched that video on your website. Now you're becoming a resource. Because you've seen how difficult it was. Wasn't it pretty difficult for us to really try to find information about the VW Polo? Wasn't a whole lot of information that was specific to the market, specific to the area. So let's call that the 4C strategy. If you start creating content, you can create clients. And talking about creating content, I mean, what's some questions? I want you guys to tell me, what are some questions that people have asked you? Customers have asked you, not having to do with price. What's a question that's come in the last week? Can you think of one? Okay.
Delivery time, finance,
Delivery time. What's another question?
finance.
Financing. You know why you guys are struggling to answer that? Is because we're being asked those questions and we don't think much about it. We just answer it. It's just kind of like we're on autopilot and we answer those questions. What about leasing information? What about resale value? What about fuel efficiency? What about maintenance schedules? I mean, think about all of the questions that they're asking you. Create content. Create content based on those questions that your customers are asking you. Do it in video. It's so easy. Pull out your iPhone and do a video. In fact, right now, you see where the iPhone's mounted right here? What we're doing right here, where my iPhone's hanging right here, this is Periscope. So we're running an app right now. I'm broadcasting live across the world on that iPhone. It's so easy. Use an app like Periscope, do a video walk around, talk about leasing or whatever. You can broadcast all these people, and there's questions popping up, and I can see that there's people on there. It's an easy way to do it. Take that video, put it on your website. Start creating a video library on your website. Put it on the specific vehicle page. So here's a page. Here's one about creating content. This is a page that we build on all the websites. It's got a lot of different content. So why is my check engine light on? How do I check my engine oil level? How often should I change my oil? How do I change a tire? How do I sync my iPhone to Bluetooth? How do I change windshield wipers? Have you guys heard these questions before? These are so simple questions. And all we've done is we've created a page with all the questions, and when you click the button, it goes to a page. In fact, why is my check engine light on? I pulled that up in Denmark. Any idea how many searches were done for that in the last 30 days in Denmark? Take a wild guess. Who wants to guess? How many?
250.
250? 373,000. That's a lot of searches. What would happen? It's like we just got light. Crazy. So 373,000 searches having to do with check engine light on in the last 30 days. So if you create a page on your website having to do with that, with the video, think about what we call the next logical step. So when somebody, and you notice there's chat on there. So here's the page. And then we give a coupon, check engine light on, 50% discount. Receive a computer diagnostic printout. Here's all the reasons your check engine light might be on. And then we're saying get pre-approved financing, schedule service now. Further on down the page, we're saying things like value your trade, find out what your vehicle's worth. So these are all next logical steps. Because if I came into the service lane, one of your salespeople are going to greet me, right? And say, hey, I see you're in so-and-so car. Would you like to talk about trading that in? We buy cars for cash. Even if you don't buy a car from us, we'd like to buy your car. This is a way to create leads 24/7. And the traffic's there. People are searching for it. So what I want you guys to do, where I asked you that question, what are some questions? I want you to create what's called a swipe file. It's real easy. I mean, there's different ways you can do a swipe file. My recommendation is you find a wall somewhere where everybody, all your salespeople and your managers are walking past your wall, and start writing the questions on there. Every question that's asked is not having to do with price. Write it on the wall. And then get a team together, a video team, and say, all right, who wants to answer this question on video? Who wants to answer this one? Who wants to answer this one? It's so quick to do it. You mount your little iPhone, put it on a bracket like this, and start answering those questions. Now you got that video, and you put it right on your website, and here's the beautiful part about it. How long would that video be good for? Years. Versus, is there anybody in here right now that's trying to figure out what they're going to advertise this month? I didn't think so, but there's a lot of people that are trying to figure out, what am I going to advertise this month, and they're in the month. And they're saying, oh, that's how I'm going to drive traffic. So create the swipe file. What I'm really talking about is I want you guys to start being a matchmaker. I want you to merchandise cars online the way you do on the lot. So let me explain that a little more. Imagine this. What's the process that happens on the lot? What are all of the questions? What are the word tracks? What happens on the lot? Does that same process happen online? Because if I was to come to the lot and I looked at the car and I said, wow, I really like that Toyota Yaris. That's a really good looking car. I wouldn't say that, okay? Let's just say it, okay? It's like saying Mini Cooper. No, really, I like the Mini. So I really like that Toyota Yaris. Okay, great. What would be the next word track that your salesperson would use? But they say, okay, yeah, that's good. You like that car. They wouldn't say that, would they? What would they say? Would they say, well, are you going to be trading something in?
What I like about the car.
Okay. That's a good one. So what would you like about the car? I start talking about, oh, I like it. it's small or whatever, whatever it might be. I can't think of what I like about it. Okay? But anyway, so find out what they want about it. But what they would also say too is if I started saying, well, how much is it going to cost me per month? Then it'd be, well, are you going to trade something in? Are you going to put money down? Right? Does your website do that? So if I was to go to your website, let's say that VW Polo, and I find that VW Polo on the website, would there be such a thing on that page, on that VW Polo, to start calculating a payment? Could I calculate a payment on your website? Put your hand up if I can. 5 people. If I was on the lot, if I was the typical consumer, based on your consumers, how many of them would ask you, what's it going to cost me per month? Is that a standard question that we hear? Put your hand up if that's a standard question we hear. So if that's a standard question we hear on the lot, why don't we have that on our website? That's what I'm saying. Mirror the process that happens on the lot should mirror on your website. Your website's not a glorified newspaper ad. And that's the way a lot of people treat their website, regardless of where I'm at. And it's really, you kind of look at it, I mean, newspaper is very one-dimensional. There's the car, okay, great. There's the price. Oh, there's your contact information. Okay, great. That's a newspaper ad. It's not a website. The website needs to be, here's the car. Calculate your monthly payment amount. Start the pre-approval process. Value your trade. Find out what your existing car is worth. What are some other things that happen on the lot? Think about all of the processes that happen on the lot and make sure it's on your website. Because if I'm on that specific car, that VW Polo, help me do the entire process to want to contact you. Think about it. What about we talked a lot about videos. Do we have a video walk around of that VW Polo? Are we giving them a lot of information? Because if you have video on that VW Polo and you do a walk around video, I mean, purchasing a vehicle, purchasing a lot of things in our life, it's very emotional. And if you show the video, it's going to pull the emotions in. I mean, it's almost like a love affair. I could talk about my wife on that again, about the horse she brought home. Sheesh. So merchandise cars online like you do on the lot. Does that make sense, guys? Video demonstrations of vehicles. I already said that. Start doing the videos. If you put videos on your website, there's a lot of things that's going to happen. A, you're going to get more leads. B, you're going to get more people coming to the lot already knowing specific things about that vehicle going, I want that vehicle. And what you're also going to do, this is the beautiful part about it, when we talk about search engine optimization, your website will rank higher in the search engines because people are spending more time on your website. Time spent on your website is important. In the United States, national average is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's pretty low, if you think about it. Because once you start to optimize a website, it's not uncommon to have somebody spend an average of 9 minutes, 12 minutes, 16 minutes on your website, if you have a lot of content on your website. Again, duplicate the sales process online. So the video testimonial. All right, I need a volunteer. All right, where's the volunteer? Come on, somebody that's got some product knowledge. All right, guys, really? Are you? Who? Come on, don't be shy, somebody. All right, we're just gonna stand here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I borrow your phone? It's just for a prop, okay? All right, Michael.
Yeah.
At least you got a name I can pronounce. Thank God. Sheesh. I'm Paul. I'm Michael. Okay, Michael, you bought a car. Give me a car that you've got some product knowledge about.
So you
All right, what do you do? Okay. Please don't be a car dealer on this, okay? Just,
my English is not so good, so it won't happen.
that's okay, good. We'll just fake it all the way. They'll understand what you're saying, but I won't have a damn idea what you said.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be, all right, whatever.
And then
No. You guys want him to do it in Danish? No, because I won't be able to understand what he's saying. I won't be able to tell you what he did right. All right, so give me a car that we're going to talk about.
Toyota Yaris.
What did he say? Oh, okay, I'm Steve. All right, so you ready? All right, so Michael, you just bought the 2015 Toyota Yaris. So tell me, what's your most favorite feature about it?
Oh, it's the navigation in the back, so the camera is the best.
So you like the navigation and the backup camera? Okay, excellent. So when you were shopping for the Yaris, what other vehicles did you compare it to?
Oh, I see the here, the wheel, and the design on it was not so good. So that's why I take it out.
Okay, cool. What did you like about the design on it?
On the Yaris,
No, on the Kia.
I don't like it. Yeah.
I know, that's what I said. What did you not like about the design?
The grill and the arrow. It's not so good.
Did you drive it?
No.
Oh, you didn't even want to drive it either. Okay, good. Did you
Some
com-
of the price.
Okay, great. Did you compare it to anything else?
No.
Okay, so you just came back to the Yaris. Is there anything else that you really like about the Yaris, other than the navigation and the
It's a
backup?
safety console driving. It runs and runs and runs.
So safety rating,
Yeah.
reliability,
Yeah.
and great mileage out of it. Okay, great. Is there one last thing you want to share about doing business with us?
Oh, you was so smiling person. I have trust in you.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Give me a minute. Sure. you're done. Well, how many pieces of content did he just give us on that video? How many? How many do you think you get?
9.
Okay, good. All right, you're good. Give him a hand. So by creating a video like that, now we take that video about the Toyota Yaris and we put it on the page for our Toyota Yaris. Make sense? I don't know if there's a plural on Yaris, but we'll just roll with it, okay? So now what happens? Somebody's on that page and they're looking at the Toyota Yaris. I mean, and think about it. How many other individuals are going to be on that page and maybe cross-shopping the Kia product? Is there going to be a fair number? I mean, think about it. If you look at a Volkswagen Passat, it's got, what's its competition? The Golf, what's its competition? The Scirocco, what's its competition? So now we created a video, and we have that video on that page. I mean, does that seem like that's a good value? What if something crazy, though, that somebody happens to know Michael? That could happen, couldn't it? Especially in the world with social media now, and 62% of the people are on Facebook right now. We could also take that video, not only put it on our vehicle detail page on that specific on the Yaris, but we could also upload it to Facebook. So other people that are saying, yeah, I'm considering getting a vehicle, and they're looking at Kia whatever, that they could start to consider the Yaris. Does that seem like a good use of time? So the things that I've showed you so far, we haven't really been talking about spending money too much. There's so many things that you can do right now, today, this week, this month, in your advertising strategy. It wouldn't cost you a lot of money. It would cost you a little bit of time, but it's the type of strategy that you can use week after week, month after month, year after year. We talked about a 2015 Yaris. How long would that video be good for? 2 years? 3 years? So that's a good use of time. All it takes is a process. And having that process in place, getting your salespeople to do this, or having somebody dedicated to the dealership to do it, make it part of the process. Now you start to create all these videos, and before you know it, the time spent on your website goes up, your leads come up, more and more people come to the dealership because your website becomes a really good resource. Who in here has been on Amazon.com? Are the reviews pretty good? Do they help you make purchase decisions? Think about the reviews and how reviews help you. So that's a video testimony. We talked about what to do with it. Again, get it to the specific page of the cars. And then I would also create a page that talks about video testimonials, and then I would use it on Facebook. And if you want to get really crazy, if you're doing email marketing, you can send it down an email too. So Facebook post, add the vehicle detail pages, showcase page on your website, and upload to YouTube. So we're talking a lot about video. Does anybody in here know how to actually use SEO power on the videos? So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to be part of an online webinar. So here's one of our dealers, Henninger Toyota. And you can see where he's got the Scion testimonial versus RAV4. The videos. And the beautiful part about the videos, it doesn't take them off the website. You want to keep them on the website. Don't ever put anything on your website that takes people off. Keep them on your website. So here you go, guys. Write this down. If you want to be, this is free. We're doing an online webinar, and it's at advertisingcopenhagen.com. If you go to that page, not only can you download today's presentation, but you can sign up for June 3rd at 3:07. We're going to show you how to do these videos and how to tag these videos, how to optimize these videos so you can get first page ranking on Google and Yahoo. There's no guarantee on that you'll get first page ranking, but the odds are pretty good that you'll get first page ranking. So, advertisingcopenhagen.com. Just go to the page, get the presentation, sign up for the webinar. Okay. All right, so let me show you some different tactics, some different strategies. Wouldn't it be great if you could advertise every last car on your website online, and then you only pay for the performance? In other words, you only pay when somebody goes into Google and types that vehicle in, and then all of a sudden, if it's in your inventory, it shows up. This is like a VIN number advertising, that you're only advertising the cars on your website. So imagine this. Anybody know whose website this is? Is somebody's website in here? Is that your website? You got a lot of inventory, wouldn't you say? Imagine having an ad for every one of those vehicles. Whose website is this? Anybody in here? You guys are both sitting together too. That's weird. So you guys have a lot of inventory. So imagine having an ad for every one of these. It's called dynamic search ads. It matches any content on your website. Not only does it match your inventory, but if you have any pages like check engine light, it will match that. And it's based on geographic location. And you can just set the budget. Again, this is called dynamic search ads. This is what it looks like. So we typed in the search VW Polo, and we photoshopped this just so you guys can see it. But this is the way the ad would show up. So again, we typed in VW Polo, and then what it does is it would grab the specific information on the page of your website, and then it would drive them specifically to that vehicle right there. Conversion on this is extremely high. Generally, conversion, what I'm talking about is you run a pay-per-click ad, and you might get a 5%, 7% click-through rate. In other words, a conversion that somebody will come over to your website on that. On this, it's upwards of 90%. Because it's so specific. I mean, it's so targeted. So whatever vehicles you have in place, what's happening is this technology climbs through all of your inventory on your website, and then when somebody types in something specific like this on a used vehicle, boom, it will drive them right to it. So here's the scary part of it, is 97% plus do not convert on your website. Anybody here look at your analytics? Who looks at analytics? Can tell me some of the analytics numbers. How many visits? No, you can't.
Yeah, but it's up. Yes, it's not counted.
Pardon?
I run an online web shop for accessories.
Okay. So do you know your analytics?
We're kind of in the same distance, actually.
Okay. all right.
But I do know my analytics.
Okay. So what is your bounce rate on your website?
My bounce rate is nothing but 23% last month, I think.
Okay. So 23%. So 23% of the people are bouncing off the website. And what's the conversion on your website?
Oh, for accessories purchase or direct to purchase.
Just getting a lead off of it.
Oh, 13%. Something
Okay, so that's really high.
But on to purchase is 0.2%, 3%.
Okay. So a lot of automotive websites, about 97%, well, you just don't get conversion. In other words, let's assume that you get 1,000 visitors to your website, 970 of them won't do anything. That traffic just leaves, goes away. So the goal, what you want to do, is to do a strategy called retargeting. Retargeting allows you the ability, when they come to your website, we've all been exposed to it. I mean, think about it. Who in this room has gone to a website and then left that website and their ads have followed us wherever we've gone? That's retargeting. It's a great way to create what we call top of mind awareness. Retargeting is the first thing that I would start with. We started with it years ago and using it on our websites. I think it was 2006 that we started doing retargeting. But it's a great way to create that top of mind awareness. So let me explain how it works. Visitor comes to your website, they look at your products, look at your services, and then they just don't convert. They don't pick up the phone and call you. They don't fill in the lead form. They don't visit your dealership, whatever it is. And then whatever they look at, for example, if they look at a car, they look at service or whatever, you can start to target them. If they're on the service page, you can start to serve a message to them about service of the service that you offer. So they're seeing ads on websites like ESPN. I mean, the list goes on. All these different websites, millions of websites. They see your ad, they click your ad, they come back to your website. It helps you create conversion. It's kind of like a newspaper, like sticking a newspaper ad to their forehead, and wherever they go, they see it. Is really what it is. So this is a great this is kind of giving you an idea. Well, I just kept on using you guys. So we're that, and I talked about this earlier. So somebody goes to this page doing the research on the golf, or the polo, I mean, and boom, there's the ad. Or if they went to a page and they looked at service, then boom, there's the ad. So it continues on and on. Does that make sense, guys? Retargeting. Okay. Anybody know what this number is? What? It sure is. Well, you guys know the numbers. Why is that? I go to a lot of places. What's this number? I don't know. So, yeah. So what's this number? Exactly. So you guys remember. I do that all the time. If you're like, I don't know what it is. So yeah, it's Facebook. A huge percentage of the population is on Facebook. So let me show you some different opportunities. On Facebook, again, the opportunities are endless of where you can target individuals. You can target individuals that prefer to lease. You can target individuals that have an affinity for Volkswagen, for Peugeot, however you want to target them. All of that information is in the back of Facebook to be able to target them. And you kind of think about, well, why would that be on Facebook? But think about it. When we go to set up a Facebook profile, how much information are we sharing on Facebook? A lot. We're putting in our email address. We're putting in our hometown. We're putting in where we went to high school, where we went to college. We're connecting with our friends, birds of a feather flock together. We're putting in what kind of books we like to read, what kind of movies we like to watch. If you're playing any of the games, we're showing what kind of games we like. We're posting things on our timeline that has interest, that we've got interest in. And you guys have probably seen this happen to you, that all of a sudden you start seeing these ads rolling on Facebook, and you're like, going, that's weird. How does that happen? You're telling Facebook so much information that it's really kind of creepy. But I say it's pretty sexy too, because it helps reduce the amount of waste that we do in advertising. Facebook is very powerful, and it's only growing. I mean, Google's is almost as powerful, but not quite, because we're not sharing quite as much information, but quite a bit. So anyway, so here's another opportunity too. One of the things that I want you to make sure you're doing with Facebook is, if you're going to grow your fan base, in other words, your likes, don't give away stuff. In other words, I've seen a lot of dealers give away iPads and all that. Don't go down that process. Instead, give information. Talk about check engine lights. Oh, is your check engine light on? This is why. Remember the page I showed you a few minutes ago? Drive them back to your website. So now they come to your website and they can read about the check engine light. Sync in your iPhone, videos. You've got all these opportunities to share what goes on at the dealership. That's what you want to do. So now you drive them off of Facebook based on their interest. They come off Facebook, they come to your website. then what happens? If you have retargeting, now they pick up your retargeting code, and wherever they go, they see your ads. They see your ads whether they're on websites or they see your ads whether they're on Facebook. So think about it. What's the next logical step? So here you go. Everybody get your smartphone out. You ready? Because I share all kinds of information. I want to make sure you get it. So go to Facebook and connect with me. Again, I'm a social media prostitute, so I accept everybody. Everybody got that? Just spell Pop Rats with a Z and it'll be good. P-O-T-R-E-T-Z. Okay. So let's talk about today's marketing versus yesterday's. So now I want to hear from you guys. So today's marketing, talking about digital marketing, how is it different than what we do with offline marketing? What are some things that come to mind? What are some things that I've said that you're like, huh? Or what are some things you already know? Don't be shy, guys. You weren't shy in the beginning.
We were reading your Facebook right now. You went to Tony Robbins yesterday.
That's creepy. You're stalking me now.
You told me to become your friend.
That's right. We're friends now.
Yeah.
We'll talk
That's
about
okay.
that. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, yes. We'll talk about shoes after. What are some things that today's marketing, digital marketing versus yesterday's marketing, offline marketing? What are some things that come to mind?
You know, who visit your website, you know exactly how much time they spend. You have a lot of information that you didn't have to communicate, right? And they're just sitting waiting to know if they were spending, you know, 2 minutes looking at the active time.
What about though if, wouldn't it be cool if not only could you know how much time they spend on your website, but what about if you knew exactly what their interests and their hobbies are too? That you could find out, oh, this person's a technorati, that they like technology. This person likes to buy homes, that they like to invest in homes. This person's a movie buff. Wouldn't it be cool if we could know that? Wouldn't it be cool if we could know how old they are? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we knew what their income range was? We can, and I'm going to show you that this afternoon. It's really easy. The question is, do you have Google Analytics on your website? If you don't have Google Analytics on your website, tomorrow, that's the first thing I want you to do. It's free. Get it on your website. Connect with me on Facebook because I'm going to post a description on there. In other words, just a little piece of code that you can take Google Analytics one step farther. And your analytics will show you these individuals are movie buffs. These are people that are into technology. I mean, it's going to break it down all the way. And you'll be able to see that information. You'll be able to see more about the individuals that are visiting your website than you realize you have the opportunity to see. And you can kind of think about, why is that powerful? What am I going to do with it? Well, if you've got a lot of movie buffs that's coming to your website, a lot of people that like to watch movies or people that are really into music, maybe what you could do is you could start doing some type of a giveaway on your website, like on Thursdays, that you give away a set of movie passes. Come to our dealership and pick up the movie passes. Get registered to win. Just simple little things. You can see how old they are. What is the demographic? You say, oh, I'm doing really well in this demographic, but I'm not doing so well in this age group. So how do we change our marketing out to be able to reach this age group? Because I want to be able to set my dealership up for the long haul. In other words, my clientele is starting to die off, and I want a younger audience. This is what I can do to be able to do that. And I don't mean that as a negative, but you know, we need to know those things. So today's marketing versus yesterday's, the big thing is it's not about who has the big budget wins. The beautiful part about today's marketing, it gives you the opportunity, it gives you the power to compete with dealers that are so much larger than you. Just by having a good digital strategy and targeting it. And it's a paid performance advertising. It's not about the dealer who has the most inventory that wins, and I'm going to talk about that this afternoon, a dealer case study, in fact. But I'll give you an example of one dealer that's become a really good friend of mine now too. But when we started working with him, and he was normally 7th to 9th in his region is where he was at. And I said, well, Ryan, our goal is to get you to number 1. And he kind of laughed. He goes, oh, okay, yeah, that'd be great, but that's not going to happen. What do you mean it's not going to happen? Did you see my inventory? Did you see Scott Clark's inventory? Scott Clark has the big golf carts to be able to drive people around the 4-story parking garage to be able to see the inventory. I'm not going to be able to compete with that. I'm like, oh, yes, you will be able to compete with that. Because once they get to the lot, they see the inventory difference. But on the website, he's equal. He looks like he's the same dealer because he's got a lot of inventory, because we do what's called a virtual inventory. Everything that I've showed you today, the importers would be completely happy with you to do. They wouldn't mind, because it would help you sell more cars. And if you're selling more cars, they're happy. So again, today's marketing versus yesterday, it's not about more, because the way we used to do marketing was like, how can I have more radio spots in morning drive? How can I have more commercials? And then the media rep comes walking in and goes, oh, here you go. Here's a package. It's so much money, and you're going to get so many hundreds of spots. Okay, that's great. Let me do that. I want more, more, more. It's not about more. It's about the quality. It's not about the quantity. So today's marketing is also about listening. Listen to what people are doing on your website. Listen to what people are doing in your showroom. Listen to the questions they're asking you, and answer those questions. Answer those questions in video. Answer those questions on your website. Answer those questions in social media. You will create more content that's relative to them, that you will become an authority. And that's what makes great marketing, is you become the authority in your industry, and now price does not really matter. And I know that's hard to say. A lot of people go, oh, price matters because that's what my customers are asking me. Yeah, that's what they're asking you, and we talked about that, but that's what you're advertising to them. I mean, think about it. How many of us in this room, we went and spent more for something? We could have bought it cheaper. We could have spent less on it, but we spent more. I mean, it really comes to, are you willing to pay more for it? And I won't pick on anybody in this room that bought a really expensive belt, because it could have had another belt. It would have held his pants up perfect. But that one does look really cool. So again, listening is key. And then responding, which is the strategy. Put the strategy in place. It's an easy process to follow. And process, well, what's your process in your marketing? What's the next logical step? Now you're getting more traffic to your website. You're getting more traffic to your website. You have chat on your website. You have call to action. You have payment calculators. You have all the different things that we talked about on that page to be able to get the conversion. And then here's one of the big things. Are you willing to do things differently? And I think that's probably the biggest thing that holds most back. It's like, well, that's the way we did it last year. That's the way we did it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and 20 years ago. And it worked. So why would we change it now? Well, the answer is really easy. 2 years ago, how many people in this room had a smartphone? 5 years ago, how many people in this room had a smartphone? 10 years ago, well, didn't happen. We didn't have smartphones. I mean, we thought we were really tech when we had that gray Motorola, that brick of a phone. That's really cool. Imagine hearing nothing in your back pocket. So think about it. So our habits have changed. Our buying habits have changed. Our research habits have changed. But has our habits, has our strategy, has our process changed in our dealerships? And if your dealership is like most that I talk to, it's not. It's only the few that have really made changes and changed the process, the selling process, even the way they pay their salespeople. In fact, I have a number of dealerships that don't even hire salespeople anymore, that they got rid of them. They have what we call customer service reps, and they're paid completely different, and they work completely different hours. And a lot of the dealerships in the States and Canada, the people work from, the sales managers work from a tower. Like, really? It's not the way people want it anymore. So again, are you willing to do things differently? And if you are, well, then you're ready to really make a big difference in 2015 and beyond. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul,
Thank
for
you.
what we could call the first half of your presentation today. Paul will also be on our annual meeting later on today. Next up is the general meeting of Bilbranchen, which is for members only. It's in the conference room next door. It starts in about 5 minutes. So for those of you attending, there should be some time to pick up a coffee or water, whatever you need. Og vi ses derinde om 5 minutter. Tak.